Welcome to the channel. You're about to dive into something epic, so buckle up. Rocket today, we've got an incredible aliens thought humans were harmless until a Marine explained war crimes that will blow your mind. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of the exciting content coming your way. Let's jump right in. War crimes. The cosmos had always been a silent expanse for humanity, a canvas of stars, planets, and celestial mysteries that seemed untouchable and indifferent. For centuries, humans had gazed at the skies, dreaming of life beyond Earth, wondering whether they were alone. When the first message arrived, everything changed. The signal, decoded painstakingly by humanity's brightest minds, revealed an invitation. An alien species known as the Zorathians had been observing Earth for millennia and wished to initiate contact. The Zorathians were a race of highly advanced beings, thriving in a utopia of peace, cooperation, and intellectual enlightenment. For them, the concept of war, violence, or suffering was incomprehensible. Their technology had evolved alongside their morality, creating a society where conflict was not merely absent but unthinkable. They viewed humanity through a lens of naive optimism, focusing on art, music, and acts of kindness captured through their long-distance observations. From the Zorathian perspective, humans were a species of passionate dreamers, creators of beauty, and seekers of meaning. The darker aspects of humanity, wars, atrocities, and acts of cruelty, were either misinterpreted or dismissed as anomalies in their analysis. As the Zorathians prepared their emissaries to meet humanity, they decided to visit a location emblematic of human unity and progress, the International Space Station, ISS. It was there, floating above Earth, that the Zorathians' shimmering, crystalline vessel materialized. The world watched in awe as the first contact unfolded. Amid the delegation of scientists, diplomats, and world leaders, a United States Marine Corps officer, Captain Alexander Hayes, was included as a representative of humanity's security forces. His presence, deemed unnecessary by some, would prove to be pivotal. When the Zorathians disembarked, their appearance was as mesmerizing as their ship, tall, luminescent beings with semi-transparent forms that seemed to refract light into rainbows. Their voices, soft and melodic, conveyed thoughts directly into the minds of those they addressed. Their leader, Arkan, greeted the humans warmly, expressing admiration for their art, literature, and music. "You are a species of profound beauty and creativity," Arkan intoned. "We have long admired your capacity for hope and wonder." The human delegation, eager to impress their visitors, presented a curated showcase of human achievements. They shared symphonies, paintings, and poetry, emphasizing the depth of human expression. The Zorathians responded with enthusiasm, marveling at humanity's ability to transform emotion into tangible forms of beauty. However, the tone shifted when Captain Hayes, who had remained silent thus far, asked a single question. "What do you know about human history?" Arkan's serene expression faltered for the first time. "We know you have faced struggles," the alien replied cautiously. "Moments of discord, but these are outweighed by your brilliance and potential." Hayes leaned forward, his voice firm but not unkind. "Then you don't know the whole story." What followed was a lesson the Zorathians would never forget. Hayes began to recount humanity's darker chapters, not to shame his species but to provide a complete picture. He described the history of warfare, from ancient battles fought with swords and shields to modern conflicts involving nuclear weapons and drone strikes. He explained the concept of war crimes, detailing atrocities such as genocide, chemical warfare, and the deliberate targeting of civilians. Each example was presented with stark honesty, accompanied by the reasons such acts were deemed unacceptable by international law. The Zorathians listened in stunned silence, their radiant forms dimming as the gravity of Hayes's words sank in. The Marines' recounting of events like the Holocaust, Hiroshima, and the Rwandan genocide painted a picture of a species capable of unimaginable cruelty. Yet Hayes also spoke of humanity's efforts to confront these horrors: the establishment of the Geneva Conventions, the formation of international tribunals, and the global movements for peace and justice. "We're not proud of these parts of our history," Hayes admitted, "but they're a part of who we are. We've learned from them, and we're still learning. It's in our nature to make mistakes, but it's also in our nature to try to do better." Arkin and the other Zorathians struggled to process this new information. Their species had never known conflict, their evolution had been marked by unity and shared purpose. The idea of a species capable of such duality creating sublime art while committing heinous acts was alien in every sense of the word. The conversation shifted as the human delegation sought to provide balance. They shared stories of resilience, bravery, and compassion in the face of war. Hayes recounted tales of medics risking their lives to save others on the battlefield, communities coming together to rebuild after devastation, and individuals who stood against oppression at great personal cost. These stories, juxtaposed against the horrors of war, painted a picture of humanity as a species defined not by its mistakes but by its capacity to overcome them. The Zorathians, though shaken, began to see humanity in a new light. Arkin addressed the delegation with a tone of solemn respect. "Your species is unlike any we have encountered. You are a paradox capable of destruction yet driven by a desire for creation and connection. We must reconsider our understanding of you." In the days that followed, the Zorathians engaged in extensive dialogue with humanity, seeking to learn more about their history, culture, and philosophies. They expressed a desire to help humanity harness its potential while minimizing its darker tendencies. Joint initiatives were proposed, including cultural exchanges and collaborative efforts to address global challenges such as climate change and poverty. For Captain Hayes, the experience was bittersweet. While he had succeeded in presenting a truthful account of humanity, he knew the weight of that truth would linger in the minds of their alien visitors. Yet he also believed that honesty was the foundation of any meaningful relationship, even one spanning the stars. As the Zorathians prepared to depart, Arkin offered a final message to humanity. "Your journey is far from over, and the path ahead will not be easy. But know this, you are not alone. We will walk beside you, not as saviors but as partners, learning from each other. Together, perhaps we can create a future where the beauty of your species shines without shadow." The crystalline vessel vanished as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving humanity forever changed. The first contact had not been the harmonious exchange the Zorathians had envisioned, nor had it been the overwhelming triumph humanity had hoped for. Instead, it was something far more profound, an honest reckoning with who humanity was and who it could become. In the silence that followed, both species looked to the stars with a renewed sense of purpose, united by the hope that understanding could transcend even the vastness of space. The Marines' lesson: breaking down war crimes. In a pivotal moment of truth, a U.S. Marine undertakes the profound task of explaining the grim realities of war crimes, bridging the gap between the idealistic perception of warfare and its often harrowing truths. War crimes, as defined under international humanitarian law, represent some of the gravest violations of human rights during armed conflict. These include but are not limited to, the deliberate targeting of civilians, torture, genocide, the use of weapons banned under international conventions, and the mistreatment of prisoners of war. Rooted in humanity's history of violence, the concept of war crimes has evolved over centuries, shaped by both the horrors of conflict and the persistent efforts of the international community to curb them. The Marines' explanation would begin with a historical overview, tracing the origins of war crimes to early civilizations where the conduct of war was often unregulated, and acts of barbarism were commonplace. However, the modern understanding of war crimes began to crystallize with the codification of the laws of war. The Hague Conventions of 1899 and 1907 laid the groundwork by addressing issues such as the treatment of civilians and prisoners, while the Geneva Conventions of 1949 expanded these protections, defining specific grave breaches that would later be recognized as war crimes. The Nuremberg trials, 1945 to 1946, following the atrocities of World War II, marked a turning point, establishing that individuals including military personnel and state leaders could be held accountable for crimes against humanity and war crimes, regardless of their rank or position. The Marine would delve into specific examples to illustrate the devastating impact of these violations. From the Holocaust, where systematic genocide claimed the lives of 6 million Jews, to the My Lai massacre during the Vietnam War, where U.S. soldiers killed hundreds of unarmed civilians, these events underscore the depths of human cruelty. More recent examples, such as the atrocities committed during the Rwandan genocide and the use of chemical weapons in the Syrian civil war, highlight that war crimes are not relics of the past but ongoing challenges that demand vigilance and accountability. The Marine would also address the mechanisms in place to prevent and punish war crimes. The International Criminal Court, ICC, established in 2002 under the Rome Statute, serves as a permanent tribunal to prosecute individuals for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. While the ICC represents a significant step forward, its effectiveness has been hampered by jurisdictional limitations, political pressures, and the refusal of some major powers, including the United States, to ratify the Rome Statute. Other mechanisms, such as universal jurisdiction, allow national courts to prosecute war crimes committed anywhere in the world, but this principle is fraught with legal and political challenges. In recounting these legal frameworks, the Marine would emphasize the critical role of military training and the rules of engagement, RO, in preventing war crimes. These rules, designed to balance military necessity with humanitarian considerations, guide soldiers in making ethical decisions on the battlefield. Marines and other military personnel undergo extensive training to ensure they understand and adhere to these principles. However, the Marine would candidly acknowledge that systemic failures, inadequate oversight, and the fog of war can lead to breaches, as seen in incidents like the Haditha massacre in Iraq, where U.S. Marines killed 24 civilians in retaliation for an insurgent attack. Beyond the battlefield, the Marine would highlight the importance of accountability and transparency in addressing war crimes. Whistleblower protections, internal investigations, and international monitoring play crucial roles in ensuring that violations are not ignored or covered up. The Marine would point to instances where individuals have taken great personal risks to expose war crimes, such as the efforts of journalists and human rights activists in documenting atrocities. The lesson would also explore the moral dilemmas faced by those on the front lines. War often forces soldiers to make split-second decisions with life-or-death consequences, and the line between lawful and unlawful actions can become blurred in the chaos of combat. The Marine would stress the importance of maintaining integrity and humanity even in the most challenging circumstances, drawing on personal experiences and the core values instilled in military training. As the lesson concludes, the Marine would reflect on humanity's progress and the ongoing struggle to uphold the principles of justice and accountability. While war crimes represent the darkest aspects of human nature, the efforts to prevent and address them demonstrate humanity's capacity for growth and moral courage. From the establishment of international tribunals to grassroots movements advocating for peace and justice, the fight against war crimes is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Ultimately, the Marine's lesson is not just a recounting of history or a legal primer but a call to action. It challenges individuals and nations to confront the realities of war, to hold themselves and others accountable, and to strive for a future where the laws of war are respected, and the dignity of all individuals is preserved. In breaking down the concept of war crimes, the Marine underscores a universal truth, that the pursuit of justice and ethical conduct, even in the face of conflict, is what defines humanity's greatest aspirations. Alien perception of human ethics and morality. When humanity first encounters an intelligent alien civilization, the interaction will likely be defined not just by technological disparities but by the profound differences in ethics, morality, and perception of what it means to be civilized. This imagined encounter could serve as a mirror to humanity's own moral framework, exposing both its virtues and its contradictions. The aliens, with their advanced perspectives and distinct societal norms, might initially view humans with a mix of curiosity and apprehension, attempting to understand the complexities of human ethics and morality, concepts that have evolved over millennia and remain imperfectly applied in human societies. Historical evolution of human ethics and morality. The narrative would begin with the historical evolution of human morality. Unlike laws or traditions that are codified and specific, ethics and morality represent humanity's abstract understanding of right and wrong, deeply rooted in culture, religion, philosophy, and biology. Early human societies likely formed moral codes based on survival needs such as cooperation for hunting or caring for offspring. Over time, morality expanded to include broader societal principles like justice, equality, and altruism. These ideals were crystallized in ancient religious texts, philosophical doctrines, and legal systems, from Hammurabi's Code to Confucian ethics and Kant's moral philosophy. However, humanity's application of morality has been far from consistent. Wars, colonization, and systemic injustices throughout history reveal the often contradictory nature of human ethics. These paradoxes might bewilder an alien species. How can a civilization capable of creating universal declarations of human rights also perpetuate inequality, environmental destruction, and conflict? To the aliens, humanity's moral framework might appear noble in theory but flawed in practice. The aliens' perception of human morality would likely begin with observation. Imagine an advanced species studying Earth through intercepted transmissions, historical records, or even first-hand surveillance. They might note humanity's reverence for certain ideals, such as freedom, love, and compassion, yet struggle to reconcile these values with human actions. For example, they could analyze humanity's paradoxical relationship with violence. Humans are capable of extraordinary acts of kindness and self-sacrifice but are also prone to war and cruelty. Even the justifications for war often rest on moral grounds, protecting freedom, combating oppression, but the collateral damage and suffering are difficult to align with these stated values. To an alien observer, this dichotomy might suggest that human morality is context-dependent, driven more by circumstance than by an immutable code of ethics. Furthermore, aliens might scrutinize how morality varies across cultures and time periods. Practices once considered ethical, such as slavery or public executions, are now widely condemned. This fluidity could lead them to question whether human morality is inherently subjective, shaped by societal needs rather than universal truths. Religion would likely become a focal point in the alien analysis of human ethics. Many human societies derive their moral codes from spiritual beliefs, often rooted in the idea of divine judgment or cosmic order. Alien observers might find it fascinating and perhaps baffling that billions of humans anchor their sense of morality to faith in unseen deities or eternal afterlives. At the same time, they might recognize the universality of certain religious tenets, such as the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This principle, echoed across Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and other faiths, might resonate with the aliens as evidence of humanity's deeper aspiration for harmony and mutual respect. Philosophy, too, would offer intriguing insights. Aliens could analyze the works of figures like Aristotle, who emphasized virtue ethics, Immanuel Kant, who proposed the categorical imperative, and John Stuart Mill, who championed utilitarianism. These intellectual traditions might showcase humanity's capacity for abstract reasoning and self-reflection, qualities that align with the ethical sophistication of advanced civilizations. Despite humanity's lofty moral ideals, its history is marred by ethical failures that might alarm alien observers. Genocides, systemic discrimination, environmental degradation, and economic exploitation reveal the darker side of human nature. To the aliens, these failures might signify either an inherent flaw in humanity's moral reasoning or the growing pains of a species still grappling with its own evolution. Environmental ethics, in particular, could be a key point of contention. The aliens might struggle to understand how a species capable of understanding its dependence on a fragile ecosystem continues to exploit it to the brink of collapse. This disregard for sustainability could be viewed as a moral failing that threatens not only humanity but also the broader planetary biosphere, a concept that might hold moral significance for the aliens. Amid these concerns, the aliens might also identify a profound and redeeming quality in human morality: empathy. Humans possess a unique ability to connect emotionally with others, extending compassion not only to their own species but also to animals and even hypothetical beings. This capacity for empathy underpins many of humanity's greatest achievements, from humanitarian efforts to the pursuit of universal human rights. The aliens might view empathy as a cornerstone of human morality, one that aligns with their own ethical principles, if such parallels exist. They could observe acts of heroism, philanthropy, and solidarity during crises, evidence that, despite its flaws, humanity strives toward moral progress. A critical aspect of this scenario would involve comparing the aliens' ethical framework with humanity's. Perhaps the aliens operate under a collectivist moral system that prioritizes the welfare of the group over individual freedoms. Alternatively, they might adhere to a rigid, logic-based morality devoid of emotional considerations. Such differences would shape their perception of humanity, leading them to either admire or critique the emotional and individualistic nature of human ethics. The interaction might reveal that alien morality, while advanced, lacks the nuance and emotional depth of human ethics. This contrast could serve as a mutual learning opportunity, with humans gaining insight into more rational approaches to ethical dilemmas and aliens recognizing the value of empathy and moral flexibility. As the aliens conclude their analysis, they might come to view humanity's ethical journey as a testament to its resilience and potential. Despite its contradictions, humanity has made significant strides in moral development, from abolishing slavery to championing gender equality and combating climate change. These achievements suggest that, while imperfect, humanity is capable of growth and self-improvement. The aliens might see this journey as a reflection of a young species still navigating the complexities of existence. They might even offer guidance, sharing their own experiences and ethical insights to help humanity overcome its challenges. Alternatively, they could adopt a more observational role, allowing humanity to continue evolving on its own terms. Ultimately, the aliens' perception of human ethics and morality would serve as a mirror, reflecting both the best and worst aspects of humanity. Their analysis would reveal a species defined by its contradictions, capable of extraordinary compassion yet prone to violence, driven by both rationality and emotion, and constantly striving for a moral ideal that remains just out of reach. This encounter would not only challenge humanity to confront its moral failings but also inspire it to live up to its highest ideals. In the process, the aliens might come to respect humanity not for its perfection but for its relentless pursuit of a better, more ethical existence, a pursuit that, in itself, is a profound testament to the human spirit. Throughout history, humanity has faced the devastating impact of war, a force that leaves deep scars on societies, cultures, and individuals. Yet, amid the chaos and destruction, the power of human resilience shines as an enduring testament to the indomitable spirit of survival and recovery. Resilience during and after war manifests in multifaceted ways through the steadfast courage of individuals, the collective strength of communities, and the innovative reconstruction of societies. In the trenches and battlefields, soldiers demonstrate physical and emotional resilience, enduring unimaginable hardships and finding ways to persevere despite trauma, injury, and loss. Civilians, too, embody resilience as they endure sieges, displacements, and the destruction of their homes, drawing on communal bonds, cultural traditions, and hope for a better future to withstand the horrors of conflict. History provides countless examples of such resilience, from the survival of civilians during the London Blitz in World War II to the perseverance of communities in post-genocide Rwanda, rebuilding a nation scarred by unimaginable atrocities. Even in modern warfare, where the nature of conflict has evolved with advanced technology and cyber warfare, resilience adapts. Refugees fleeing violence embody it, building new lives despite adversity, while activists and organizations work tirelessly to bring aid, advocate for peace, and hold perpetrators accountable. Cultural resilience also plays a vital role, with art, music, and literature emerging as powerful tools for healing, preserving identity, and inspiring unity. Innovations in healthcare, education, and rebuilding efforts in post-war societies underscore humanity's ability to transform tragedy into growth, as seen in Japan's recovery after Hiroshima and Nagasaki or Germany's post-war reconstruction. Psychological resilience, supported by advances in trauma therapy and mental health awareness, highlights humanity's ability to heal even the deepest emotional wounds. Resilience is not merely survival but a profound act of defiance against the dehumanizing forces of war, a reminder that, even in humanity's darkest moments, the light of hope, courage, and collective strength can prevail. It is a powerful narrative of overcoming adversity, underscoring that while war tests the limits of human endurance, resilience defines our capacity to endure and rebuild. This unwavering ability to adapt, recover, and grow in the aftermath of conflict stands as one of humanity's most defining and inspiring traits, shaping the course of history and offering hope for a future where peace triumphs over destruction. Throughout history, humanity has faced the devastating impact of war, a force that leaves deep scars on societies, cultures, and individuals. Yet, amid the chaos and destruction, the power of human resilience shines as an enduring testament to the indomitable spirit of survival and recovery. Resilience during and after war manifests in multifaceted ways through the steadfast courage of individuals, the collective strength of communities, and the innovative reconstruction of societies. In the trenches and battlefields, soldiers demonstrate physical and emotional resilience, enduring unimaginable hardships and finding ways to persevere despite trauma, injury, and loss. Civilians, too, embody resilience as they endure sieges, displacements, and the destruction of their homes, drawing on communal bonds, cultural traditions, and hope for a better future to withstand the horrors of conflict. History provides countless examples of such resilience, from the survival of civilians during the London Blitz in World War II to the perseverance of communities in post-genocide Rwanda, rebuilding a nation scarred by unimaginable atrocities. Even in modern warfare, where the nature of conflict has evolved with advanced technology and cyber warfare, resilience adapts. Refugees fleeing violence embody it, building new lives despite adversity, while activists and organizations work tirelessly to bring aid, advocate for peace, and hold perpetrators accountable. Cultural resilience also plays a vital role, with art, music, and literature emerging as powerful tools for healing, preserving identity, and inspiring unity. Innovations in healthcare, education, and rebuilding efforts in post-war societies underscore humanity's ability to transform tragedy into growth, as seen in Japan's recovery after Hiroshima and Nagasaki or Germany's post-war reconstruction. Psychological resilience, supported by advances in trauma therapy and mental health awareness, highlights humanity's ability to heal even the deepest emotional wounds. Resilience is not merely survival but a profound act of defiance against the dehumanizing forces of war, a reminder that, even in humanity's darkest moments, the light of hope, courage, and collective strength can prevail. It is a powerful narrative of overcoming adversity, underscoring that while war tests the limits of human endurance, resilience defines our capacity to endure and rebuild. This unwavering ability to adapt, recover, and grow in the aftermath of conflict stands as one of humanity's most defining and inspiring traits, shaping the course of history and offering hope for a future where peace triumphs over destruction. When an alien civilization with advanced ethics and morality views humanity's history of war crimes, they might see a complex tapestry of destruction, suffering, and contradiction, contrasted with a profound capacity for reflection, accountability, and growth. War crimes, defined under international law as grave breaches of the Geneva Conventions, include acts such as the targeting of civilians, genocide, torture, and the use of banned weapons, reflecting the darkest depths of human behavior during conflict. For an alien observer, these actions would likely reveal humanity's historical struggle to balance survival instincts, territorial expansion, and ideological clashes with the ideals of justice and morality. From the Nuremberg trials after World War II, which exposed the systematic genocide of millions, to the atrocities committed during the Rwandan genocide or the ethnic cleansing campaigns in Bosnia. War crimes paint a picture of humanity grappling with the consequences of unchecked power, prejudice, and political manipulation. The alien perspective might initially view these actions as evidence of humanity's primitiveness, as war crimes starkly contrast with the ethical aspirations embodied in declarations of human rights and international treaties. However, they might also recognize the unique duality of human behavior, the ability to commit heinous acts and, at the same time, pursue justice through mechanisms such as the International Criminal Court, ICC, and tribunals that aim to hold perpetrators accountable. To an alien species unacquainted with the complexities of human emotions and societal structures, war crimes could appear as both a failure of governance and an outcome of deeply ingrained tribalism, rooted in humanity's evolutionary past. They might struggle to comprehend how individuals rationalize atrocities under the guise of nationalism, religious fervor, or military necessity, even as they profess universal ideals of dignity and peace. The alien lens would likely focus on the systemic nature of such crimes, exploring how propaganda, dehumanization, and fear can drive ordinary individuals to commit extraordinary acts of cruelty. They would examine how structures of power, from authoritarian regimes to fragile democracies, have perpetuated these crimes, and how humanity has slowly attempted to curb such behaviors through international law, whistleblowing, and advocacy. At the same time, the aliens might marvel at humanity's resilience and efforts toward accountability, recognizing that while war crimes expose the depths of human cruelty, the global response reveals a capacity for growth and learning. They might study landmark moments like the establishment of the Geneva Conventions, the trials at The Hague, or the grassroots movements advocating for justice, such as the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions in post-apartheid South Africa. The alien perspective would highlight the symbolic and practical importance of these actions, acknowledging that while imperfect, they reflect humanity's ongoing struggle to align its behavior with its ideals. The existence of institutions like the ICC, though limited in reach and enforcement, demonstrates an aspiration for a world where such crimes are not only condemned but prevented. Furthermore, the alien lens might extend beyond human warfare to analyze how humanity's ethical failings during conflict reflect its broader moral dilemmas. From environmental destruction caused by wartime strategies to the exploitation of natural resources fueling conflicts, war crimes often intersect with other global issues, exposing a lack of foresight and collective responsibility. They might consider the psychological toll on victims and perpetrators, understanding that the trauma of war crimes extends across generations, affecting not only immediate survivors but entire cultures and nations. From this perspective, the aliens could see humanity's capacity for healing as a remarkable counterpoint to its capacity for harm, as evidenced by advancements in trauma therapy, restitution programs, and cultural preservation efforts in post-conflict societies. Ultimately, an alien civilization observing war crimes through their lens might judge humanity as a species still in its ethical adolescence, capable of creating profound principles but struggling to live by them consistently. Yet, they might also see humanity as unique in its ability to recognize its failings, document its darkest chapters, and endeavor to prevent their repetition. War crimes, viewed through this lens, would not only define humanity's weaknesses but also highlight its potential for redemption, suggesting that even in its darkest moments, the human species possesses the capacity to evolve toward a more just and peaceful existence. Detail the aftermath of the Marines' explanation and how it shifts the alien species' policies toward humanity. Do they decide humans are too dangerous and advocate for isolation? Or do they find value in humanity's potential for growth and propose an alliance to guide them? Include scenes of internal alien deliberations and debates, as well as how humanity reacts to the aliens' newfound understanding. Focus on how the Marine and other human ambassadors work to change the aliens' perception of humanity. They share stories of progress, cooperation, and the human desire to learn from past mistakes. Describe how this effort fosters a deeper bond between the species, leading to a unique partnership. Include moments of shared understanding where both species realize they have much to teach and learn from each other. Conclude the story with a broader philosophical reflection. The aliens come to understand that humanity's capacity for war and cruelty is matched by its ability to dream, create, and aspire for peace. The Marines' explanation of war crimes becomes a turning point in an intergalactic relationship, symbolizing the complex duality of the human spirit. Describe how this realization influences humanity's future interactions with alien species and its role in a larger cosmic community.